Uganda bans identifying as LGBT with new bill. Welcome to Disconnected. Let's have a wee watch and see what this is all about.
Has passed a bill which would criminalise people who identify as LGBTQ, with those found guilty facing up to 10 years in prison. Under the proposed legislation, friends, family and members of the community would have a duty to report individuals in same-sex relationships to the authorities. Homosexual acts are already illegal in the East African country, but the bill seeks to go further and criminalise people on the basis of their sexual identity. The bill passed with widespread support in Uganda's parliament.
In our country, we will have our morals, we will protect our children, and we are making this law. We are making this law for ourselves, we are making this law for our children, we are making this law for the children of our children. This country will stand firm. And once it passed, I can tell you, Madam Speaker, we are going to reinforce the law enforcement officers to make sure that homosexuals have no space in Uganda.
We're joined now by Oriam Nyeko, who is a researcher at the Human Rights Watch Africa Division. Really good to have you.
So, how do you react to that? Maybe by going, wow. Ooh. I'll never understand this fear and hatred of people who don't like pumping the way you do. It's just the weirdest thing, but okay.
You with us, and thank you for joining us on BBC News. Can you tell us a little bit more about what this draft legislation does, what it will change?
So the current law in Uganda basically prohibits same-sex acts. It's been in the law for decades. It was inherited from the British and really hasn't been implemented. So what the legislators now are wanting to do with this new bill is to criminalize homosexuality as a whole, to make it such that any person that has sex with somebody of the same sex commits a criminal offense, as well as anybody who, in their words, promotes homosexuality also commits a criminal offense. So they're wanting to really ensure that anybody that's affiliated with homosexuality is punished by the law.
So this will have serious implications, won't it, for any members of the LGBTQ plus community in Uganda?
Certainly. I mean, the notion that somebody should go to prison because they've had consensual sex with somebody who is an adult is, can have, wide-ranging impacts. Not just the fact that it's now going to be a criminal offense, but the fact that what it's essentially doing is
Wait, hold on. The bill includes death penalty for abuse of children or vulnerable people. I'm against the death penalty, but when it comes to abusing children and stuff like that, my first reaction is, yeah, sure, why not? Give them the death penalty. Cut their winkies off. I don't know, do terrible things to them. Anyway,
endorsing homophobia. It's the government would say that it's all right to discriminate against people because you think that they are homosexual, because you think that they are having sex with somebody of the same sex, and that can have, we've seen in the past, it having wide-ranging impacts on people's lives and their livelihoods.
Well, I think this is the important part of this whole thing, is where he.
I can tell you, Madam Speaker, we are going to reinforce the law enforcement officers to make sure that homosexuals have no space in Uganda. And we are making this law for ourselves, we are making this law for our children, we are making this law for the children of our children. This country will stand firm. And once it passed, I can tell you, Madam Speaker, we are going to reinforce the law enforcement officers to make sure that homosexuals have no space in Uganda.
African country, but the bill seeks to go further and criminalise people on the basis of their sexual identity. The bill passed with widespread support in Uganda's parliament.
In our country, we will have our morals. We will protect our children. And we are making this law. We are making this law for ourselves. We are making this law for our children. We are making this law for the children of our children. This country will stand firm. And
So, I don't understand. You are trying to impose morals, and your morals are based on, who people find attractive, rather than letting people live their lives and not be... Oh man, how do I phrase this? So you're claiming that your country should be moral, and to be moral you've got to ban same-sex everything. Okay.
once it passed, I can tell you, Madam Speaker, we are going to reinforce the law enforcement officers to make sure that
I find it so difficult that people have such an issue with people who are just like not the same sexual orientation as them. I just don't understand it. Who gives a shit, man? Anyway, comments down below. Thanks for watching.